Hello, welcome to my Kansas garden. I'm excited to do an April garden tour with you guys. There's been a lot growing since March, obviously. So let's take a look. This is the main garden. I have a flower garden that I've been working on over by that red fence. But let's just start on this side and make our way back. This bed does not have hardly anything in it. I'm not planning on planting this bed this year. I just put down mulch to keep the soil moist and safe from the sun during the year. The only things that are growing are these scallions. They were here last year and I just left them. There's also little garlics that, there's a little poker piece down there. My kids must have brought it out. But we have garlic. There's 1 and 2. There was more, but they're not doing good in this bed for some reason. They just have been dying. So I have 3 scallion plants and 2 garlics in this bed. This bed, oh, I put in this little bird bath. It was really cheap. I got it on sale. But this bed, it's not doing as well as this bed. If you can see the difference. There's a lot coming up over there. Over here we have some, but not as much. This one has the soaker hose. We have, I think that's black seeded Simpson lettuce and carrots coming up in every corner. I planted these in every corner. You can see over there, there's a line of carrots. That, see that? That is a mustard plant coming up right there. But we have carrots over on the other side. See that line of carrots? And we also have carrots coming up right here. You can also see those are beets. And they're coming around. I alternated them. You can see there's pink beets and then yellow beets and then pink beets. And then coming around over here are radishes, tons of radishes. I planted, I think 4 varieties of radishes and they're just coming up all over the place. So all in between the soaker hose, you can see them coming up. And then on this other side are the beets again. You can see right there, there's some lettuce that I just tossed lettuce seeds after I was done planting it. I just tossed them and they came up. So, but you can see the pink looking ones are beets, and then these yellow looking ones are also beets, but yellow. So, excited about those. And I did plant flowers in here, but I don't know what their seedlings look like, so I can't really show them to you. We'll see, maybe they'll be a lot bigger come May. Oh, in here you can see arugula. It's actually taken shape finally. But I just did a little bit of arugula in here. And then of course, more radishes. If you can see, these ones are yellowing. These ones got hit with frost. I don't know why those ones, when it frosted, these did not get hit as bad, but these ones in front did. So they're still growing, but they don't look very good. They're yellowing. The true leaves don't look very good. I don't know how good they're gonna do. I'm just letting them grow. So this is this bed. And of course, my row of scallions. And you can see they all have flower buds on the top, and I'm just excitedly waiting for them to flower. Now the next bed is garlic. You can see all of these a lot bigger than last month in May. They're just really happy. They're not super thick and they're not as healthy as other garlic I've seen on other channels, and I'm okay with just the fact that they're growing. I really am learning as I go, and this is my first year growing garlic, so just the fact that they're even here makes me really happy. This next bed is, well, these next two beds belong to two of my sons. Of course, they have scallions because we just let them grow in the garden. Let's go on this side. These are volunteer cosmos that came up. These, I believe, are possibly beets. I'm not sure. I have volunteer plants coming up all over the place, and I don't really know what they are until their true leaves form. So this might be a pepper, or it might be another beet. Who knows? Here's another one right here too. But these are beets. These are yellow beets right here. Here's some more. Here's some more. And then we have lettuce. More lettuce. And on this other side, we have, I believe these are radishes. And then a bunch of arugula that just got scattered in here. There's a bunch of it right there. And then more radishes on the other side. He also has some tiny carrots growing in here. And that's just about it for this bed. Let me turn around over here. This last bed on this side is another one of my sons, my youngest son actually, and he just went hog wild planting stuff. So we have volunteer cosmos coming up. We have a line of, I believe they're radishes. This is an onion he planted. So here's the radishes. Of course, he has scallions, more radishes. This might be a volunteer tomato, which I'm really excited about. I can't believe they're already coming up in April. Onion. In here, it looks like lettuce and arugula. More lettuce. You can see he has some garlic, those thinner ones. I'm not sure what these are. They may be kale. These are beets. They look like yellow beets. They're not pink. And then this line is just a line of lettuce. A mix, it looks like. You can see the red in there. And then over here we have some, if I can get in here. Ah! The onion's not letting me. Oh, by the way, an onion. He planted this onion and it's doing better than my onions. You can see there's another onion over there. But here we have radishes. So that's pretty much all that's going on in his garden. So let's go look at the other side. This is a little garden bed next to the house. Needs weeding, obviously. I think about that every time I come out here. But this is a little zinnia that I planted. And there's another one coming up over here, right there. And we have some garlic. So there's a few garlic plants doing well. I actually planted a bunch of zinnia and some calendula in here. So we'll see if they come up. Going out into the garden yard, we just did that side. Here's this side. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? This is that fall garden. Now, I've learned from this, and I think I'm going to do this next year. Do you see how big these lettuce plants are for this early in the spring? I've never had lettuce plants this big this early, and it's because I planted them last year. So I'm kind of thinking going forward that I'm going to plant a lettuce bed lettuce bed in the fall and take care of it a little more than I took care of this one, because I didn't take care of this at all. I didn't cover it, I didn't water it, and it just came back like this in the spring. So I think this fall I will plant another lettuce bed, and so that it will come back in the spring. So I'm really excited about this. I don't know what this is. Do you guys know what this is? If you do, please tell me. Here's a bunch of arugula that bolted and is making beautiful flowers that I'm really excited about. I don't know what a lot of this lettuce is called. I planted it and I thought it was gonna die, so I pulled out the markers that told me what it was, and they lived. So they're just in here looking beautiful, and I love it. I love this purple one. Isn't that beautiful? It's so pretty. So yeah, lots of random lettuce, lots of bolting arugula. This is parsley that came back. This is thyme and lemon thyme. And then a gigantic oregano bush and a little oregano bush. Remember, there used to be mint here, but I pulled it out because it was going absolutely crazy. Then I have this little purple cabbage kale thing. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty. I bought it when it looked like a head of purple cabbage kind of last fall, and planted it, and it died back, and now it's coming back, so enjoying that. Lots of chives right in here. More arugula that is bolting. And then over here by the brick, you can see a whole row of arugula. And there's one over there that's starting to bolt. But there's some lettuce that is growing outside the bricks. But really beautiful. Loving this bed. Moving on to the next one. This is my other soaker hose bed. This one has not been weeded. I actually posted a video telling you about the day that I weeded that one. I'm planning on weeding this one today. So there are a lot of random plants in here that I didn't put here. But as you can see, this bed is doing better. If you look at the radishes, they're just having a ball. I haven't thinned my carrots yet over here, but just like the other bed, there's carrots in the corners all around the bed. But there's a bunch of different types of radishes over there. There's a bunch of different types of beets in here, radishes in here. I'm trying not to go too fast because I don't want it to blur while you're looking at it. Carrots, beets, and something really fun. Volunteer tomatoes. Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am about these tomatoes. I have to thin them, of course, because they just came out of a tomato that I dropped in here last fall. But I wasn't sure they were tomatoes because they didn't have their true leaves yet. But yesterday, or the day before, you can see that the true leaves are coming out right there. And I touched the true leaf and it smelled like tomatoes. And my goodness, I can't tell you how excited I was. So I need to thin those out, but I'm really happy that they're here. Also, let me see if I can find it. Look here. Can you see right here? That is volunteer basil, which I'm super excited for as well. I have a video from last year where I talked about how I cleared out my bed of basil and threw all the seeds over here in this bed. And I'm just really excited to see that they're actually coming up. So that is exciting. And there's a bunch of them. Let me see. There's some right here. There's one right here. And I don't know. There's here. There's one. I think those are too. So there's a bunch of basil. Aren't volunteer plants fun? They're so fun. So that's the gist of this bed. Very similar to the other one over there. Me trying to stand up and keep the camera steady. This is my onion bed, which is funny. You can kind of see what I mean. These are growing. They're here. But you remember the onions over there in my son's bed? They were so much thicker and happier, and he's not even trying. Like I put down like, what is this stuff called? Straw, trying to keep the bed moist and everything, and he just planted that stuff straight in the dirt, and it's doing better than mine. So maybe that's something I need to take into account, because this is the first year I've used straw, but we'll see. Last year I used wood, and the wood was too heavy, and the soil was too wet, and they got ruined. My onions got ruined. So this year I tried something lighter, and I'm being careful on my watering. I don't know, maybe I just need to not put down mulch. I don't know. I'm still figuring this out. A lot of people use mulch for their onions and they swear by it, but I have not had good luck with mulch with my onions. Maybe it's where I live, because when I just put them straight in the dirt, they do a lot better. Who knows? We'll figure it out. We're still learning. Over here is, these two are my other two sons' beds. This one, scallions obviously, but he really likes flowers. So he planted 2 rows of flowers. You can tell this row was planted earlier. That one later, it's just coming up, but you can see lots of flower plants. This is a volunteer sunflower. Here's an onion that he planted. I believe this is a mustard plant that I snuck in here because they have a lot of room in their garden beds. Here is a carrot. If I had to guess, I would say that's a volunteer pepper. We will see as it keeps growing. Here's another carrot, another possible pepper. More carrots, more carrots. I believe that's another sunflower. I think these are garlic. There's actually 2 or 3 of them. That's weird, because I believe he only planted 1 last year. We've got a row of lettuce, of course. See these? I think they're peppers. We'll see. We'll see. He also has some volunteer tomatoes. You can see that little patch right there. And there's some back. Where is it? There it is. And this gigantic scallion. I swear that's a scallion and not a leek. They get so big when you just plant them in the garden and let them grow. All right, so let's go to the last bed, which is over here. Another one of my son's beds. He also planted a few flowers. They're coming up along this edge. And then you can see where he planted. So this was a row of lettuce, as you can see, but he also planted, maybe I put those in. Those might be mustard plants that I took advantage of the space. He's got a nice row of carrots that are coming up beautifully. His carrots are actually doing the best out of everybody's, and I'm wondering why. I don't know. We also have possible peppers. There's another one over there. I believe these are radishes that got hit by the frost, so they're not doing too hot. Here's a brand new radish that just came up. Beets that are doing well. And then some more volunteer cosmos. And that's it for the actual garden itself. But I do have this flower bed growing over here. This one was the most recently planted, so nothing's coming up here yet. This one has a lot of weeds that I need to take care of. But there are a few coming up. That, I believe that's nasturtium. That, and then over here we got a bunch. Cosmos, nasturtium, sunflowers. Just a lot of stuff going on over here. They're getting bigger. Looking good. And then here are these. I already showed you that one. But our newest one that opened up over here is this. Looking beautiful. Do you know what that is called? I love it. I think it is just so pretty. We have these. This one. These are volunteer sunflowers. I say volunteer, but last year I sprinkled a bunch of seeds in this bed, so they're coming up where I wanted them to. I also planted a lot more flowers in here, and we'll see if they come up. So this bed goes all the way down. And these are gonna be cone flowers. They always come up in May. April, May, I mean, it's April, so they come up in April, and they're blooming by June. So maybe they'll be blooming in May, who knows? But they're really beautiful. And they go all the way. And then these were daffodils, but the season for daffodils is done. So that is it. That's it for my garden. Isn't that lovely to be in my shot? But yeah, things are coming up. April's here. Lots of stuff are happy to be growing, and I'm happy they are growing. So looking forward to what's going to be coming up in May, and I'll talk to you in our next video. Goodbye.